we're going to go over some stuff in the Constitution, and I want you guys to understand this. I know everybody's in a panic now. They think the sky is falling, so on and so forth. This is Webster's Dictionary, 1828. This is the online edition. Now, why in the world did I go there? I'll tell you why. All of your firearm laws, their Firearm Act, all that stuff, they stuck it under the Commerce Clause. Why? Well, guys, from 1891 onward until 1934, 153 years, they didn't dare try to pass any firearms law because they are constitutionally barred. When they set up the government, they set up a limited government. If you look up Article 1, Section 8, you'll find 16 different things that Congress is allowed to mess with. When they put those rights in the amendments, that means they are not allowed to mess with your rights. Do you understand that? There's nothing in Article 1, Section 8 that says that they have that. You can't regulate a right-of-way even in the name of public safety. Remember, liberty is a right of all human beings, and our government is established to protect those rights, not regulate them. Now, we're going to get to this commerce thing. I want you to understand the original intent. And when I say original intent, is because a lot of these judges, these so-called constitutional scholars, when they went to school, they didn't study the Constitution. What they did was study what other judges said about the Constitution, thus making the judge a higher law than the Constitution. Remember, what Supreme Court says about something is only their opinions. It's not law. It's only their opinions. Okay, this is commerce. In general sense, an interchange or mutual change of goods, wares, productions, or property of any kind between nations or individuals, either by barter or by purchase and sale, trade, traffic. Commerce is foreign or inland. Foreign commerce is a trade which one nation carries on with another. Inland commerce or inland trade is a trade between exchange of commodities between citizens of the same nation or state. That's what it means. They put that in there because after the Constitution was ratified, all these states were charging other states high tariffs and tolls and stuff like that. Had the states fighting among themselves. So when they wrote the Constitution, they put that thing in there that Congress could limit, that fighting between the people. That's what the Commerce Clause means. Its original intent. Look it up in the Federalist Papers, number 22 and 42, and it'll tell you. Okay, now that we got that far, let's go someplace else. I gotta go here. We'll go clear up here. We're gonna find this lady, and then we're gonna go there. We don't want to look at those people on the screen. Okay, now you get a chance. You look up this lady. If I remember, I'll put a link up there. I got so many links I gotta go through. Okay, here we go. The Second Amendment to the Federal Constitution recognizes the God-given right to keep and bear arms is to be free from any interference whatsoever from the federal government. But Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Dianne Feinstein, that King fella, all these people they're getting all their feel-good stuff because they're channeling, get this now, they're channeling people like Stalin, Joseph Stalin, Nikita Khrushchev, Putnam, all the good communist leaders. That's where they're getting all their strength, because they're channeling these communists, these socialists. Okay. The framers were all for a very armed American people. They understood that arms are our ultimate defense in the event the federal government oversteps its bounds. Yep, the reason the citizens and militia are armed is to defend ourselves, our families, our neighborhoods, our communities, and states from an overreaching, tyrannical federal government. Accordingly, the federal government is nowhere in the Constitution granted authority to abridge, restrict, or infringe in any fashion whatsoever guns or ammunition. Thus, all restrictive laws made by Congress and all regulations made by the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms are unconstitutional as being outside the scope of powers granted to Congress and to the executive branch by our Constitution. Restriction of arms is not one of the enumerated powers delegated to Congress or to the executive branch. Furthermore, all pretend regulations made by the ATF are also unconstitutional as in violation of Article 1, Section 1, U.S. Constitution, which vests all legislative powers granted by the Constitution and Congress. Executive agencies have no lawful authority whatsoever to make rules or regulations of general application to the people. Do you understand that, people? All this stuff, I'm telling you, it's bullcrap. Don't listen to them. Don't panic. Don't get in an uproar. If you're still spooked about it, I'll tell you what you do. Start sending your money to the Guns Owners of America so they can fight this for you, because you people you've let things go by too much. You didn't pay attention to the Constitution. They weren't teaching the stuff in school, and everybody doesn't understand. If you don't know your rights, you don't have any rights. I'm going to zoom this in because I want you to see this. Gun control is not an enumerated power delegated to the federal government. You look down here. The Militia Act of 1792 required every able-bodied male citizen between the ages of 18 and 45 to acquire a rifle, bayonet, ammo pouch, and report to his local militia for training. Also, you don't need no damn permit. According to any state statute which purports to require a permit before one carries a gun is probably unconstitutional under the state's constitution, and is certainly unconstitutional under the federal constitution, because Congress may lawfully require able-bodied males, citizens, to acquire firearms and ammo and report to local militia. Pursuant to Article 1, Section 8, next to the last clause, Congress has general legislative powers over the District of Columbia, military bases, dockyards, mints, federal courthouses, and post office, and such places needed for Congress to exercise its enumerated powers. The exercise of such powers by Congress over these small federal enclaves is restricted by the Bill of Rights, including the Second Amendment. So Congress is prohibited from making, for these federal enclaves, any law which infringe upon the right of the people to keep and bear arms. Congress may properly require individuals visiting federal prisons, the psych ward of military hospitals, the mint, federal courthouses, and the like to leave their arms in the vehicles, but Congress may not require citizens to obtain and carry a permit or photo ID as a condition precedent to carry a firearms. I'll put this lady's link in there. Go visit this lady's channel, learn something about the Constitution, and don't go get in a panic mode until you know what's really going on. For years, the doggone Congress has gotten away with passing laws under the color of law. They're not really law. They're unconstitutional laws. They are null and void from the day that they were voted in. But when you have people like Pelosi, Feinstein, and Schumer channeling people like the communist dictator Joseph Stalin and Hitler and Khrushchev and all them other people, maybe you guys should channel Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, John Jay, Patrick Henry, all those people. If you're patriotic enough, you'll look this stuff up. Okay, well, that's enough for tonight. I'm going to get off of here. Thanks for watching.